Hey, Andrew.
Hey, Graham. How's it
Hey.
going?
Not bad. Hey, Ryan.
Hello.
Hey, and this time on Snack Time, we are checking out Citizens of Earth. Uh, it, you want to explain the plot to this game, Ryan?
Um, I can try, but it's basically just crazy stuff happening to the vice president of the world and trying to make sense of it all.
Yeah. So you're the vice president of Earth, right? And as vice president, as an elected official, you are bound to help the people of Earth. You are bound to Earth and its citizens.
I see what you're doing. I see what you're doing there.
What am I doing? I don't.
So right away you can see this game, it just screams Earthbound. I mean, it has that aesthetic.
Oh,
It
really?
has that
Whoa.
look and feel.
I wasn't even
Like,
thinking
they-
about Earthbound.
They marketed it that way, and I love Earthbound so much that I was so excited to play it, and I'm glad that it kind of hit all those notes. The
Yeah.
humor's there. It looks awesome.
Though
I
also,
want-
it's not 100% trying to be Earthbound, which I think is helpful, but also a little bit dissonant sometimes.
What a spectacular
Totally. It does try to carve its own identity.
Yeah.
It definitely.
I have questions about these people following you here.
Okay, Ryan will be happy to answer them.
So you have it looks like a police officer, and then you also have a
McDonald's fry guy, it kind of looks like.
fry. Yeah, are those French fries? Or
Yeah.
So part of
They
this
don't-
game is you are trying to recruit your citizens to help you along.
Uh-huh.
And so we've got like the police officer, we've got the school mascot going on, and we have a conspiracy theorist. And one of the really fun things is figuring out exactly what you need to do to get each of these team members to join you. There's a ton of different characters, and they each have, you meet them, and every time, the first time you talk to them, it starts a recruitment mission. And so I really enjoyed trying to find all the different characters in the game and seeing like which ones wanted to join me for which different tasks, and each one brings different things to the combat and the non-combat. It's the cast of characters is really cool.
I see. They captured Henry's likeness pretty well in this game.
So you can name the characters whatever you feel like naming.
Oh, okay.
So
And that one just screamed Henry. I like it.
yeah, so that is the school mascot. He just cheers you on and provides morale.
Uh huh.
So I named,
Yeah,
I
that's
named
totally.
him
Yeah,
Henry.
that's Henry.
Yeah.
Yep,
Um,
makes sense.
But yeah, so I should talk about what I'm doing right now. The battle system works kind of like this. You have like low-powered attacks that boost your energy meter, and you can see these top two. They have blue up arrows. They boost the energy, and you the more you level up, the more you get. And in the bottom right of their box, you see like there's a little blue dot that says, you're getting 1 energy for this. The ones with red down arrows use up your energy. And then you see under the characters they have, like each of these have 3 max energy. And then Henry here just gets to cheer. And then he has a whole bunch of things you can do with all that.
Enthusiasm.
Yeah.
Go.
Every character has a totally unique set of moves, like geared towards that character. Like we got Team Spirit and things like that for the mascot. It's just great that they for like all the characters, they each have like 15 different moves, and so they tailored and wrote different flavor text and things for all these different styles. It's really cool.
Yeah.
So these are so I assume these are the first 3 characters you come across.
No, actually. I've
okay.
played 1 chapter in, as Ryan recommended to get us past the tutorial, and I think that helps. But so these are, I'm going to say, the 3 characters you get after your default characters. It's
Okay.
the cop,
That's fair.
the school mascot, and the conspiracy guy. Actually, yeah, conspiracy guy is his name. But I
The
can
school
go into
mascot actually took me a little while. It was hard for me to get him recruited. I couldn't figure out exactly what to do. So he was
Yeah.
one that I actually picked up a little bit later.
So as you can see, who you start with is your brother and your mom.
Makes
So,
sense.
I'm actually gonna, and
That's a
then
lot of
also,
characters.
okay. Before you get the cop, you should have the baker too.
Yes.
So I'm gonna bring in the baker and my old bro here.
The characters all do
and
kind of
Mom.
fit those different roles. Like the baker's got the support stuff where he can bake donuts and cakes and things and heal the party's HP, while the brother's
Yeah.
kind of, he's more well-rounded, but he's also got the stronger attacks that he can use, and he can also kind of tank the party a little bit, which is nice.
Yeah, and it also, see, they have their special attacks, but also they each have their talent, right? So,
Yeah.
like for example,
the-
the baker can order baked goods. You have to go in the shop, but like for example, the school mascot is pretty important to get early so you can have a good experience, because what the school mascot can do is change the difficulty, and that's the only way you change the difficulty is by like going in here, and it's kind of one of those modern like you go down, but you get more cash if you're doing more difficult stuff.
Oh, okay.
So more experience.
It's
Yeah.
like is this like different notches of difficulty, or is it? Yeah, I see.
No, it's a totally sliding scale. Yeah.
Oh, it's a sliding. Oh, okay. Oh, cool.
Yeah,
And then you can kind of see that it's locked out at the highest levels where you can't make it as difficult or as easy as possible, because as you do battles with your characters, their talents level up as well. So like
Right.
the baker will be able to order even more goods, or you can change the difficulty to even more extreme values. And the talent pool like is really neat, because you'll find characters that you want to recruit them because you want that talent that they have.
I do. I like this Charlie horse because I think it's the first ability you get that is like uses your entire meter attack,
Yeah.
which is pretty cool. So your mom's first thing she does is she has hug, and it heals someone, and then also heals her a little bit,
Aw,
which is pretty adorable.
that's awesome.
And then you have
your main-
sacrificial love, where you can sacrifice your mom to heal somebody else.
Whoa, that's just not nice. So wait, apologies if I missed this. So your main dude, Mr. Vice President of Earth, doesn't actually do anything?
Right, like a real vice president.
Yeah. Like,
Got it.
Just
I
kind
get
of
it.
Directs everybody else.
Okay, so so you're playing as him, giving everyone else orders in that regard.
Yes.
If you're really role playing this.
And if you want to initiate a battle too, he can actually like command your 3 party members to dash in front of him into the enemies. Like he can just point, and your party members just run off kind of at will and slam into things, which is really great.
Yeah.
Okay. And based on the number of characters, I assume you will probably miss some along the way if you're not trying to go for all. Like,
basically,
yeah.
From what I can tell, and Ryan, correct me if I'm wrong, basically all side quests are kind of tied to getting and enhancing these characters.
Okay.
So like,
For a large part, yeah. And I will say the other nice thing is that even though you might not get them all unlocked, they all are pretty apparent. There's not a lot of hidden characters, so you'll know who they are, and you'll have a general idea of what they need you to do, even if you don't go do it.
So it's not like a Suikoden thing where you actually have to
like for
go out
example,
of
this
your way
guy.
and search for people.
There's a couple, but for the most part, no, they're all pretty apparent.
This guy looks like a good.
Oh, this guy's awesome.
So
Is he a
for
car salesman?
example, anybody who has this has this recruit
Aha.
command, and so
So you think you're cool enough to hang with me? What kind of car do you drive, pal?
yeah.
I see.
So the car salesman's kind of fun. He has a little mini game you're gonna play to see if you want to recruit him.
Okay. Oh no.
And they're always sometimes pretty fun. The mini games they're a little hokey sometimes. But this one I actually kind of enjoyed.
Okay, here's how it works. If
Oh,
you beat
God.
me in a race, I'll consider hanging out with you
Oh,
guys.
no.
Driving your
I
tire.
also
What do you
love
say?
the vice president's
Or are
like
you
smile just never changes. It's just always plastered like that with the
Yep.
That makes sense.
the politician grin.
All right. Well, we're doing this thing.
Yeah, do it.
I don't know what this is, but Ryan knows.
All right, so I'll just give you a little advice as you race. You're going to be kind of pressing the X button to boost, and you're going to want to slam into other cars because every time you boost, you're going to use one of your 3 energy meters. So don't be afraid to actually hit another car in front of you.
Okay. What does hitting a card do?
It's going to throw you into a battle, and it's great.
Okay.
Car battle.
It literally is cars battling,
Awesome.
which is a fantastic idea. And
Can
that's
I go
also
back
the,
and name my guy Joe?
you know what? There is a person whose talent is to rename your party members.
Oh yeah, the camp counselor.
Here we go.
I saw him.
Exactly. Like
Yeah.
every talent is out there.
All
So
right.
that- so-
Oh, the car has
okay.
its own attacks.
It totally does. You can slam your door into the other
man.
car if you want.
That's great.
So, but when you finish this battle, try to finish it with as much energy as possible because then you get more
Right.
boosts.
Now I just
Turn the
want
high beams on.
I just want a turn-based RPG based on Twisted Metal. honestly.
Oh man, that's a great idea.
Man. That's almost like Serious Sam the random encounter level crazy.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. I'll talk to my friends at Sony. We'll get that.
Okay.
Works.
I do not want to do Sweet Tooth recruitment mission though, man.
What is my dude doing staying up there? Does it matter?
Oh, your mascot over there?
Yeah.
So when they're not in your party, you'll find your characters all around the world, and they're kind of fun to chat to. They'll tell you things, but they don't actually influence anything if they're not in your party. So you'll just kind of run into them.
We're just hanging out.
I'm specifically,
cheer you
it's
on.
the ones that were like, yeah. I guess if you get far enough in these car battles, they'll just all be standing around.
So, well, and it's not just in the car battles, it's like everywhere. As you go to the next town, as you go to different areas, you'll see them.
Yeah,
So
but
if
here,
you-
like, it doesn't seem like you can talk to them or do anything. It's
No, because they're just standing by cheering you on in this race, but...
just making sure I'm not messing something up here.
And so there's no danger to losing this either. If you lose the race, it's just going to kick you back out and you can try it again. So it's not like a game over here, which is kind of nice. It was the first time I did it. I was dodging all the cars left and right, and I ran out of boosts, and I finished like 5th or 6th place, and I'm like, I ran it perfect. I didn't know what I could do. And so the next time I decided just to go road rage and slam into everything, and I was like, oh, makes a lot of sense.
So, I guess as much as I love Earthbound, and I love Earthbound.
How much do you like
that-
Earthbound?
Yeah, I really like Earthbound. I like Mother 3 more as a game, but I have more nostalgia for Earthbound, so I might give that the slight edge if I were to rank the two.
Okay.
But I think my biggest problem with Earthbound, especially replaying it after recently, actually, recently as in last year, after not too long after it was re-released on Virtual Console, maybe like a few months afterwards, I started diving into it again, and man, I had to say, the actual turn-based battles are not great.
And
Yeah.
there's kind of a little bit of that here. There's a little more depth to these because one more thing with everybody's moves is they all have different elemental abilities.
Mhm.
So you've got some fire-based moves, some lightning-based moves, and so you can kind of tailor your abilities toward different party members to see, if you've got a guy weak to fire that you're fighting, try to pull in people that have fire attacks. And every battle, you can actually click the button in the lower left there to swap your party members. So
Okay, that was actually gonna be my next question.
yeah, you can restart the battle and just take you to the beginning of the battle, and you can bring in different party members. So you
Okay.
can always tailor your team to whatever the situation calls for. But it's also
so you
yeah, go ahead.
can't. So you say you restart the battle. Does that mean when you switch characters you restart, or is it just like on the fly sort of thing?
So it's when you switch characters you restart. So it's not
Okay.
like a Final Fantasy X swap in and out thing.
Oh, okay, all
It's
right.
more just blank slate beginning of the battle, but it gives you a chance to bring in someone else if you know you're going to need them for a specific situation.
Okay. And
It's kind of go ahead.
are you running into like a lot of in that case, so you don't have to like restart the battle every time? Are you running into kind of the typical RPG thing where you're in a specific area and you run into a specific type of enemy a
Yeah,
lot?
that's
So you're
kind of my next point is that every area you will start to see like, oh, I definitely need my guy that can poison people here because there's a
Okay.
lot of poison weakness. Yeah.
That's
And
cool.
also, if you do get a full game over, it's pretty nice and doesn't totally take you out. It just kind of throws you back home with your mom giving you a kiss on the cheek saying, try to go again, sweetie.
So do you get homesick in this game? I mean,
No.
you're the vice president of Earth, so maybe not as much as poor Ness did, but
Yeah, that was the greatest affliction. He just would stop attacking, right? He was just
Yeah.
homesick and just wouldn't do
just gotta
anything.
call your mom. You know?
Yeah.
Well,
One
your
of the
mom's
cool
with
things-
you, so you're
Yeah,
fine.
that's
Yeah,
true.
it's right
That's
there.
true. That's true.
The debuffs in this game, they do have things like sickness and confusion, but they always have a little icon next to you that slowly fades, so you can always see how many rounds you got left on that confusion or that sickness. And so it's kind of nice that you can plan ahead, like, oh, I know one more round and that'll be gone, or I need to cure this one here. It's got 4 rounds till that one's going to go away. So it lets you plan the battle. So the battles are a little more strategic. I will say near the end, though, they just start piling on the enemies like crazy. Like there are enemies left, right, you can't dodge anything. But after you beat an area, one of the things, Earthbound did this thing where when you were high enough level, you run into the enemies and you just beat them.
Yeah.
And it just gives you the experience. And that was great. Not
Yeah,
enough
I love
games
that.
did that. This game does that. When you beat a boss, the enemies all kind of run away from you. And if you initiate the battles, it's an auto win. So it lets you level your weaker guys up to like fighting strength really fast. And it's a really cool idea.
So to go along with that, if let's say you have a character you just don't really use that much, and you want to start using them, I assume they don't auto level up along with your party, or is it?
Yeah, the experience isn't shared, but there's a
Okay.
couple ways. So you have that quick method of just running into enemies in an area you've already beaten for the
Okay.
auto wins.
That works.
There's also another citizen whose talent is to send your characters to school and then kind of give them experience for money.
Oh, okay.
So you can kind of pay for them to level up too.
That works. That's kind of a neat alternative to grinding.
Yeah, it does lessen the blow because you want these characters with the different elemental abilities for the areas to be there. You don't get the talent experience unless you actually fight with them. So if you want those outside talents to level up, you have to bring them in, but you can at least get them up to a place where they can contribute to battles.
Oh man, here's the big one.
There it is.
All right.
Yes. That's a fancy car he's got there.
It is.
You got this.
Trying to plan for those big battles and having the energy in stock before you get there was one of the things that I was never good at. I kept trying to like make sure I'd go in with full energy and stuff like that, but I'd always get there and just have to heal up. And because I was too excited to spend my energy points when I had them. I never wanted to use the weak
So
attacks.
I don't need to win the race. I just need to beat the car salesman, right?
Right, so that should be good. I think you're going to get him.
Yep. There you go.
You might want to try to
Okay.
beat that car if you can. Oh no, I don't know. You should. I think you'll get him.
Ah.
Close, pal, but not close
Is he not
enough.
going to join you?
I'll be here all day if you want more
Dang.
humiliation.
Okay.
So you don't have to run it again. But his
Yeah.
his talent, which is kind of cool, is that he gives you a mount. Basically, you get to drive his car, so you can have double speed in your walking, which I really liked.
What about this guy?
What do you
Bartender.
have? Hey, my
Yeah,
friend,
why not?
You look thirsty.
The other thing too, so every party member that you find, you can do their recruitment mission. You can also just chat with them, and the conversations were usually pretty funny. Like the writing was fairly good.
Yeah, it gets a little too jokey for its own good sometimes, but
There are some moments, but
like it makes as many references as it possibly can. Like the car
Oh,
salesman
they-
made a Back to the Future 2 reference because of course he did.
they pack them in for sure.
Yeah.
So wait, you're going to a soda shop? I missed the exact details of that quest.
To-
Is he
the
is
next
he a
thing we do is go to his place. I assume there's something we'll do there, but
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I was just wondering if this guy's like root beer tapper dude. That's what it looks like.
Some recruitment mission, so that just gives you a clue that to start his recruitment mission, you got to meet him at a specific location.
Oh, okay. I was just wondering if his character was a reference to root beer tapper. So I love root beer
so
tapper.
okay. Should I burn this bird or should I bake some bun for
I
my bro?
I think you got to burn the bird because
Yeah.
the bro's experience is almost already up there, and if you get a level, it'll refill your health anyway. So
Ah,
I
you're
would,
right.
I would torch him.
The bro's got to burn the bird.
Yeah, the
You know
thing
what
with
they
using
say.
the school mascot and why I had him in my party for the longest time is he has a move that you can use once a battle to boost the experience you get in that battle.
Oh, nice.
So I was just
Yeah.
using it every battle.
So what is the name of this enemy that you're fighting? Chicken anchor?
Inquiry bird.
Ah.
Yeah. Again, they throw the references in left and right. I mean, Angry Bird, that's great. Come on. That's
Okay.
If you think that's cool, then you should buy this game, absolutely.
Yeah,
if you don't think that's cool, then maybe, but not
Yeah.
definitely.
if Angry Bird makes you laugh, this is the game for you. For
It
sure.
really is. All right.
Charge!
There we go. See, I charged those guys, so you get a little bit of advantage if you charge people.
Yeah, and that's the way that you can auto win the battles too when they're running away from you. Which is because they don't automatically win if you just run in, because you might want to sometimes fight because you get more experience for fighting. But it's nice when you just want to get through an area. The map design sometimes is a little confusing, especially some of the later dungeons. The tiles get reused a little bit, and it can be kind of hard to find your way. Have you
Yeah.
discovered the mini map yet, Graham?
In what way?
Like accidentally press that button because they never mention it to you.
Oh, yes. I wish that showed your location in the map. I'll bring it up after the battle.
I think it does.
Does it?
I think so. So it was for me. They never mention it in the game that there's even this mini map, and I remember just getting frustrated in one area and just kind of mashing the buttons a little bit, and then it came up.
Yeah.
And it was one of those like life-changing moments where I'm like, oh man, this is a lot easier now. I can actually see where I need to go. See, on the side, you can also plan the turn order, which is kind of nice. So you know the baker's coming last. So if you need to get that healing move off, maybe he's not the one
Yeah.
to do it, because they do swap that out based on their agility. Have you found any equipment for your party members yet?
Yeah, I'll bring those up in a second. It's interesting because I kind of like how they do it because it isn't just like a straight improvement. It's more of a, I mean, sometimes it's an improvement, but most of the times it's like a modifier with a downside, which I think is pretty cool.
Yeah, and so they always kind of let you decide if you want to take the penalty for the improvement. Yeah, this crab, you just saw him, he went into his shell there and took a couple rounds and healed himself. There's a couple enemies that do stuff like that, which kind of annoyed me because it's just a waste of time.
Oh, the worst ones are the ones that spawn other ones.
Yeah, there's some
always
of
the
that.
worst enemies in RPGs, really.
Yeah.
Well, there's this one kind of broken enemy later that just stun locks your party member and just keeps stunning every round at the beginning of the turn. And if you run into a multiple group of them, they could each stun lock a different person. So you'll sometimes go a couple rounds where it's just nothing and you can't move.
Yeah.
So there's lots of light blue dots on the minimap. Do you see the dark blue dot kind of just left of center there? That's you. So it does actually have your position.
Great. I can see that now.
if that helps.
Man. But yeah, so like the equipment, we can go in here and you just like go up to someone and, for example, I know I have something for the mom here. Has an heirloom pin, which is that's just a benefit, a chance to cause a little bit of attack down. But for example, Conspiracy Guy has a really weird one. Conspiracy Guy's first thing is day vision goggles, which doubles his attack, but he's permanently confused. So he just attacks indiscriminately, but really, really strongly. So I don't use those because
that seems.
Yeah.
And so every party member's got 4 unique things too, which is again so much just flavor text that they put in and different cool things that they do. Like you find it, you want to find these items because you never know what effect it's going to give you.
Yeah,
I really like that it wasn't the standard like swap out one hat on one member for another member. Like everybody's equipment was unique.
Yeah, I think that's pretty cool. And like the way they do it, since you have so many characters, they don't really have to have a huge repertoire of things. Like the idea is having the right pieces instead of like your standard like I have 4 characters RPG.
Right.
You know, they do what they do, and so they have their attacks that like their equipment changes what they do within the parameters of how they function, which I think is nice.
It is nice.
So, without getting into, I guess, spoilers, what is kind of? I mean, I know you're going around, you're recruiting the citizens of Earth, but beyond that, like, what exactly is your kind of end goal here?
So you basically, the game starts the day after the election. And
Yeah.
your mom wakes you up, like, congratulating you on your election. And there's a protest outside, of course, people that didn't like you. And then this Moonbucks, which is their version of a Starbucks, some weird stuff happens where you get in there and the place ends up taking off like a rocket ship away from the location. And they were apparently like giving people all their own special blend that was kind of brainwashing people. And so right now he's on the way to try to talk to the actual president of the Earth to talk and see if there's any, thing they should step in and do. But it just kind of goes crazy from there where you're basically down to saving the planet. I mean, it's under attack from all sorts of different places. And
and you're the vice president of Earth, basically so they could just put Earth in the title because that's a good way to get that to happen. I do want to mention before I go past this screen, another part of putting your party together is that there's a specific stat that each of the party members boosts when you level up. So, like, it actually, who they're in a party with shapes how their stats go, which can be pretty crazy. Also, like, at the moment, it means I'm using special attacks way, way, way more often because I don't know what the deal is with the mix of characters at the beginning, but there are, like, 3 of them that boost special attack. So
I
at
kept
least
the cop in my party a lot because the cop boosts your attack, and I like that. So that's when I found out I was using a lot.
Cool. But yeah, actually, you know what? I'm gonna go back.
Where are you going?
I'm gonna go back to my house.
All right.
I just feel like it.
Sounds fine.
I don't know how the loading is on other platforms. I feel like it's probably slower than this. I'm playing on PS4. I know you reviewed it on PC.
Yeah, on PC, I could barely see that loading screen. It just blinked by so fast.
Yeah, so like me too. I imagine there are a couple platforms where maybe it's not like Vita or something, because it seems like if the loading screen's that fast, by the way, I just love this says cops. And this is the hole where the Moonbox was. This is the person who used to
Yeah.
work at the Moonbox but doesn't anymore because there isn't a Moonbox.
Have you talked to her again? Will she let you recruit her yet?
She won't let me recruit her until she has a Moonbox to work at.
Oh, nice.
So that's
So
it
you gotta find
defines
her a
her. This is like the paparazzo of the game there. Needs me to take photos, but yes, this is your house. Yeah, I was just gonna say
They
like
have the trash can that you could dig through to try to find an item, like they did back in Earthbound. It's another throwback.
yeah, but he's
But
just like
as you-
ooh, I'm not.
Yeah, he won't touch it. But of course, there's a character later whose talent is he'll go dumpster diving for you and find you items.
Yeah. Anyway,
Is it a hobo?
It totally is a hobo.
Okay.
But yeah, this is your mom. She watches TV.
As
I don't
moms
know.
do.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Okay.
Is she just standing in front of that couch and not sitting on it?
Yeah.
The presentation of the game does have a lot of those kind of wonky things. Like you can kind of tell the animations, they kind of glide around instead of feeling like they really kind of walk.
what?
And
While I'm here, let's make
Go ahead.
some sweet treats here.
nice.
Hey, buddy.
Oh, if you click on the car too, the car's ready to take you to Capital City. So if you want to head to the next city, they're queued up to take you.
Okay, is that a
Not
good
next
idea?
year. Well, it'll if you want to see the next area, because actually that's where the storyline is going. So that area that you were walking through
Yeah.
is kind of the long way, and the car is the quick shortcut for the first time you want to go over there.
Okay.
That muffin and that cupcake look identical. Something's wrong there.
It's just funny that. Angel food cake seems like a good thing to have. And there's
Yeah,
like
those were very useful.
I like they make the items relatively cheap, but then they put a cap on how many you can own.
Yeah, I found that pretty much I always had enough items for anything I wanted to do. Like the money became a non-issue.
Were there frequent enough item shops that you didn't have to worry about it?
As far as shops, no. This is the only real item shop that you have. Although
okay.
Brother's talent is he can kind of go and place special orders and get stuff for you. for
Yeah,
time.
he works for Fed Ups.
Of course.
Yeah.
Again, if you like
Thank you.
that, then you should probably live through this game.
But as you you find enough items in the game if you explore a little bit. There's treasure chests everywhere, and they have enough healing moves too that I didn't have to resort to the items very often.
I just want to say real quick that I like that cupcake on the sign of the bakery. It's very happy.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I'm gonna say before I go because I don't want to mess anything up. But
Well, I assume you can go back pretty easily, right?
yeah.
So once you take this car over to Capital City, if you want to come back, you got to walk it. So he has to walk back to that area he was in, but it's
Okay.
not.
Hey, Wolf, ready to leave for Capital City? Don't worry, fare's already paid.
Yeah,
You bet I am. I never decline a luxury ride.
there's some
Well,
stereotypes in
buckle
this
up
game.
and hold on tight. It's
Mm.
gonna be
Yeah,
a
there absolutely are.
sightseeing taxi ride.
I don't
Almost
think they-
exclusively,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
you have a series of moves defined on what you would stereotypically think that person would do. So
yeah.
yeah,
It's played very humorously, and
Yeah.
the game doesn't take itself seriously at all. So I didn't have an issue with them playing on the stereotypes at all,
On the
but
left-hand
they
side,
definitely
you
are
see a
there.
car dealership. The salesman's a little iffy
Okay,
at times,
yeah,
but he
this
manages to stay in business.
should have done this. I just generally in an RPG
little
I
bit
go
easier.
everywhere I possibly can
So
before I
crystal clear
do
here,
what
I'd
seems
say.
to
You should
advance
come
the
back here
story.
sometime and
So
go for a stroll.
I'm the
Yeah.
same way. Usually.
Totally see that. That's one. This game does let you kind of wander into areas that you shouldn't be in, and you'll find out very quickly the first time you run into an enemy that you shouldn't be there. But it doesn't do a good job of gating you necessarily to where you should
That
go.
White House looks like a place you could go to. Something cool in there, or is it just for show?
So in a second, you'll actually see that when he runs by, there's a monster guarding a bridge that is gonna kind of hate the bright lights of the headlights of the car. And so after you don't have a car and you want to get past, you have to find a way to get past him, which that lighthouse is a use.
aha.
Safety squid.
The safety squid.
We're almost there.
I know it's dumb, but I was laughing so much. It really
Yeah.
says something about my humor, doesn't it? This is actually kind of sad.
I don't know.
Watching this.
It's okay.
It's
We're
kind of
here.
clever.
Start gathering your stuff.
Maybe
How
we
much
should
Like, I like to
stuff.
think I'm
hotel.
sophisticated.
What are the things with
I usually
games
stay off
that,
the
like a game
south,
like this, that's
right?
trying really hard to be like Earthbound, regardless of whether or not it succeeds? Ryan says so, it does, but I like it can since Earthbound was such a humorous game, and a lot of that game was due to its translation specifically, like I feel like trying to emulate that could go really poorly. And
It definitely, it's kind of a delicate line to walk.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I think they do pretty well here as far as, you know, modernizing the jokes, cramming in the references. There are some groaners, there are some rough spots, but...
And I think they smartly made a few choices, both in, you know, the sort of tone and also the aesthetic, to make it not like Earthbound, so that you're not just expecting 100% Earthbound all the time.
yeah,
Right.
that is a chicken wearing a tie.
They do throw in, like, one of my favorite
I mean,
references
Or no,
of
it's
the
an eagle.
game.
It's an
Yeah.
eagle. I'm sorry, I thought it was a chicken at first.
Toupee eagle. Okay,
Okay.
Ryan, I know I didn't want you to spoil it. Can I please recruit this toupee eagle?
I wanted to do that the whole game. I actually the same thought. No, Toupee Eagle, as far as I know, never joined my team. I did not get every member. I was a few short by the end.
But
Toupee
probably
Eagle
not
never
Toupee
joined my
Eagle.
team. I don't
Okay.
think so.
If the developer Eden Industries is listening, I would pay for Toupee Eagle DLC. If you want to give me that, that's great. What is going on here? Oh, I see. Oh.
Who's that? Aha.
An extra recruitment member there.
Oh.
I assume this is Marm.
Yeah, so the Exterminator has a lot of the poison abilities, which there weren't too many characters that had those, so she was kind of useful for that.
Yeah.
And the beds you can all nap in, and you can always go to Dreamland if you want to, which is always cool.
Yeah,
You can
what-
finally, he can,
Okay,
yeah,
you know
he's
what? I have
different
not gone to
places
Dreamland.
sleeps.
Is Dreamland worth going to right now?
Probably not. Not yet. It's tied to a recruitment mission later.
What is Dreamland? Is that just
It's Kirby's
area?
home.
Oh well, yes, of course.
It's on Popstar.
So you're saying
I don't-
Kirby's in this game?
I hope so.
Yeah, he's
You
actually one of the
recruit-
recruitable characters.
Oh wow!
Couldn't fit
surprised that-
Toupee Eagle in, but Kirby.
I'm
you got
surprised
Kirby.
they signed off. Nintendo signed off for that, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's cool. Despite the fact that this isn't on any Nintendo platforms.
It is.
Oh, it is. Oh,
Yes,
it is.
it-
Oh,
it is a
okay.
Wii U and 3DS and Vita and PS4
Oh.
and Steam release.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So sorry, the Xbox is the one that's left
The
out.
Xbox.
Yeah.
Yes.
okay.
Out on that one.
Got it.
And the it is not a legacy platform release like a lot of those are, so it is not releasing on PS3 and 360.
Okay.
I'm sure the Capitol building is
Yeah.
falling apart.
One other thing about
They need to know
Earthbound
what's
is that
going on.
that game is a really long game, actually.
Yes, it is.
That's something I didn't realize till I replayed it a little while ago, but
Citizen?
that one almost feels too long by the end, I think. And this one is a good length. This one gets out of the way before it gets tired.
How long would you say it took you to get through this?
I did all the main story and most of the recruitment missions, and I was at about 16 hours, I think.
Okay. So probably closer to 20 if you want to get everyone.
I think, yeah, 20 would probably almost be a platinum, I bet.
Okay. Cool. I do like I don't particularly see. I feel mixed about the way this game looks. Like I kind of like the character designs and the look of the world, but it's like you said, the animation is a little weird.
Yeah, the animation does kind of feel a little stilted. The battle animations repeat a lot.
Yeah.
So the presentation does, I like it screenshotted. I really do.
Now's a busy
I just don't necessarily like it in motion as much.
Yeah, I see that.
Nonsense.
You've got
That's
the weird, like, guy behind the plant just kind of bobbing up and down.
Yep. And I mean, I don't know. This is just me, but when Graham pulled up that map, I thought the look of the map was really cool. It kind of gave me an Earthbound vibe. More so when it was. So basically, when it's like zoomed out, it looks even nicer than when it's zoomed in. I don't
It
know.
does.
But it is like, yeah, that's a really nice, well detailed map. You know, you don't see very nice maps these days. I feel like
That's true.
maps are underappreciated.
I wish they'd let you zoom the map. That was one thing that
Yeah, for sure.
kind of I found myself leaning into my screen, which was kind of dumb. But yeah,
ouch.
the stop vine. I mean, how great is that? Stop vine.
Stop vine. Okay.
You could never get full.
For some reason, had root beer. I don't know. It's fine. Okay. Yeah, so I'm gonna
So
get
much
to the
favorite
president
text.
here, and then that seems like a good place to call it.
Sure. Yeah.
Ryan can tell me whether it's going to take an hour to get to the president.
I don't believe it actually takes that long. Trying to remember, this was a while ago now, but
help you.
there's more Toupee Eagle.
Where's he got
He's everywhere.
downside?
He absolutely
But
is.
she always stuck.
We're in the middle of a number of changes.
Yes, I've noted.
Well then, how can I help?
I
you?
need you to open the gate.
I'm sorry, but
I'm trying to remember if there's a
citizens
dungeon in
need an
between you
appointment.
finding the president or not, and there might
Be
be.
cool.
Huh.
I got this. Yo,
Okay.
Eagle man.
Well,
Sorry,
I might
recognize-
wrap it
There's
up
a
with this
poster
nice
of me
conversation
right
with Tupe
behind
Eagle
you.
then.
Is there?
I think that might be a better place to go,
Oh,
actually.
hey, look,
Yeah.
it's our first look at the president. Just for a second there. Looks a lot like
Oh, they-
John Kerry.
It kind of does.
A little bit, yeah.
I hadn't made that
You're the
reference, but
trophy
it kind of
candidate,
does.
right?
Because, like,
Trophy?
you
Who do
don't like
think you
anyone.
are?
Like, there's not, like, a public figure who actually looks like this guy.
The gates have been opened.
Yeah.
Please proceed back until
You're probably
you have.
fine.
I mean,
Maybe
they're
a little
guys
bit
with big
longer.
chins,
Yes,
but, like,
that's more like it.
Yeah, I can see what you're saying.
all right.
Jay Leno as vice president
Yeah.
of Earth.
All right.
No.
So I think I'm going to call it there, but yeah, so we don't spoil any more of it. But
I just want to say,
yeah.
if I actually had a choice in the election in this game, I would have voted for Tupe Eagle for sure.
oh man, if Tupe Eagle would run a third-party bid,
Yeah, I'd be all
man.
alternate
That's the
alternate
DLC.
reality DLC where you actually play as Tupe Eagle as vice president.
Here
of
it
Earth.
is. This is free, you guys. Citizens of Earth 2 TOU, and it's the sequel, and you play as Tupe Eagle.
That brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All
right.
is brilliant.
Yep.
Eden Industries, they're free for you. Take it. Make that. There
Ooh,
you go.
I like that idle animation.
It's pretty good.
VP. Yeah, that one's good.
All right. But yeah, that wraps up this episode of Snack Time. See you guys in 2 weeks.
Great, thanks.